Good afternoon, and welcome back to Wisehearts Garden, where we plant seeds to grow you, transform you, and possibly inspire you. Today, I will be chatting with Phae. And Phae, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Phae. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and spiritual practitioner hailing from Brooklyn, New York. I'm currently nomadic, living in Latin America, and multidisciplinary artist and spiritual practitioner. And the work that I cover and do in my healing creative work usually stems around uncovering truths, knowing where our true power lies, and just being unbound and just really defining what liberation looks like. So that's why I'm so excited to talk today with you, Vita, because we get into some bangs, and I'm hoping I don't want to give it away, but I'm really excited for our talk because I feel like what we're talking about today really, really talks about where our true power lies within ourselves. So I'm really excited.
I'm excited to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing. Phae and I met at a brunch, and there were many threads that came together, many commonalities that we shared, and I really enjoyed the time that we were able to share. And so, Phae, I'm wondering if you want to talk about those things, or if you are more interested in talking about self-love, because that's usually where I go, but I love that we just had so many connections. So I'm just wondering what feels most alive for you.
I'm a little hedonistic, so I like a little bit of both.
All right, great. Well, let me ask you this. How do you define self-love?
Ooh, how do I define self-love? For me, self-love, I would define it as a commitment to surviving, or I would say it's a commitment to avoid self-betrayal.
Mm,
I feel like we come into this world and there's so many opportunities to betray ourselves, and I feel like self-love is kind of like taking that power back and just being like, no, I'm committed to my well-being, whether that's my mental well-being, spiritual, emotional. So I think I would define self-love as like a culmination of just like your well-being and just being committed to that.
okay. Thank you for sharing. I love that. And I am wondering how or if self-love played a part in you being in Latin America and you traveling, and if that's a part of it for you. For me, it is, and so I just wanted to check in with you.
Yeah. Am I allowed to like ask you questions? Kind of like go back and forth?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to make sure because
This
I
is
would love to hear how that plays into your journey as well, traveling. Um, but absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You really get into these questions today. I'm prepared, but you really get into these questions. It's one thing
no,
to say.
well, whatever you need to do, Faye. It's not like that. Seriously, I want it to be a dialogue, and I want for us just to, yeah, it's just a space for us just to express who we are and how we got to this place that we're in. Whatever
Yeah,
you want to share.
yeah. No, I'm definitely I'm not someone who gives away information easily, but I'm an open book. Like I have to be prompted. So I have no
Okay.
problem sharing. It's one thing to think and ideate about a question and to like say it out loud is two different things. So I'm just like aware of my body as I'm like responding. So
So, what are
um
you feeling in your body since you mentioned that? Because let's go there.
yeah, I think for me, it's not very hard for me to feel vulnerable. So I feel vulnerable, like not in a
Okay.
bad way, not in an evasive way. It's just like I feel like in the work that I do in the spaces that I am, I'm always like the listener, I'm always the observer, and I always have a story to tell, and I don't often find that I allow myself to tell my story. So like my body is just being like, oh, this is different.
Different. Okay.
So that's kind of like what's coming up.
Okay.
So, but
Do we need to take a minute? Because I'm happy for us to. Do you need to like slow down, arrive here? Did we move really quickly? I want you to feel comfortable and
you know,
get a step.
I feel I'm ready. Like I'm ready to tell my story. I'm
All right.
ready. That's why I'm so excited that you asked me to be a part of your platform. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my time. So
It's your time, Phae.
it's no, yeah, it's my time. But I think to answer your question, absolutely. I definitely believe that self-love has a lot to do with my travel journey and the fact that I'm nomadic, only because, for one, I thought it was something that I was going to do on my own, because growing up, I didn't hear a lot of people talking about, oh, I want to see the world, I want to travel, I want to do this. And I studied abroad in college just to get a little taste. And I, in my mind, thought I would be in a different place in my life to begin traveling. But when the opportunity presented itself, was I fully ready? No. But I was like, let's travel. And I'm just so blessed that I have a partner that I get to travel with. So I get to have these experiences with someone. And I never, ever thought that I would have that experience. And the reason why self-love plays a role in this is because, like, I've always known, like, I've been letting my family know for a decade, like, hey, y'all, just know one day I'm gonna be somewhere else. And so my family is not surprised that I'm here, but I feel like it's such a like just really special moment for me to be here, knowing that I would always be here and just not knowing how. So my commitment, even when I didn't know how I was arriving here, even when I put me traveling on the back burner and I still arrived here, I think is a testament to like self-love and just knowing who I am and knowing what I wanted. And I think self-love is knowing what you want and asking for it and going after it. So I think this is like a testament to my self-love journey for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
This is my second trip here, and I know that self-love is part of my journey in coming back. And thinking about your definition of not abandoning or betraying yourself. For me, I too have let my family know these are things that I want to do. And you might, look one day and I'm not here, I might be gone. But most of the time I really like check in and let them know this is what I'm thinking about. I've seen this and I really want to go here. But coming to do healing work is part of my self-love journey. And really sitting with and listening. Like this trip has been different because I'm finding out so much about myself. The last couple of days have been very enlightening as far as looking at patterns that were established a very long time ago that are showing up today in interactions with people. And if I were not doing this work, then I think I would be abandoning and continuing to betray myself. And I'm not saying it's seamless. It's not 100% because things still show up and things have been showing up, but it's just like peeling back the layers. So me coming back was a commitment to myself. And so I choose myself every day. And I'm not saying, like I said, that things don't happen, that I don't slip up, that they're not speed bumps, roadblocks. I mean, whatever you want to say. And I'm still committed to myself. And so I do my mirror work and check in with my body. But definitely being back here is part of my path. And my path is about self-love and about doing that work. So thank you so much for sharing.
Am I allowed to know what your definition of self-love is?
My definition is also a commitment to the continuing, and I haven't like written this down, but I'm just like thinking right now since you asked me. But the continuing acceptance of yourself, the honoring of yourself, and witnessing and growing and learning about yourself, but a daily choice. So I guess I would say a daily choice of doing those things and a daily choice of choosing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
love could be a struggle for some people. I feel like conditioning, our conditioning and our upbringing, our environment, our peers, media. I feel like it's like a multitude of varying messaging, like external messages that fracture that inner voice really early on, or at least speaking for myself, I believe that's something that I experienced is just like not feeling accepted for being a little quirky, for being really sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I'm a very energetically sensitive person. You know, growing up on the BET of it all, and the music videos, and like, you know, wanting your body to look a certain way, or getting into the workspace or getting into school and seeing that people are moving at different paces and needing different things and feeling like I'm behind, or like, or just even socially, like my friends want certain things in life that I don't necessarily want. Like people want babies and marriage and like they prioritize that. It's not that I don't want that, but that's not, it was always travel. It was always my art. It was always my practices that came before those things. And so I feel like for a really long time, I questioned myself. I doubted myself, just often feeling left out. And so I feel like based on the things I experienced, that may have been reasons why other people struggle, just the varying messages around how to love yourself, your worthiness, what's normal. So I feel like those were definitely things that impacted me for a long time.
I can identify with so much, again, with what you're sharing. And especially the piece around socialization and conditioning. Because I was taught, and of course, I come from a different generation, but I was taught that even saying the word or thinking about self-love was selfish. And for me, selfish is like taking something from someone else. And I was like, I don't understand, because if I'm loving myself, I don't feel like that's taking away from anybody else. I feel like that's just pouring into me. But I was just taught that no, you give and you give and you give and you give, and that's how I was socialized. So to come to a different place of really thinking about, what do I want? What is it that I want? And without the voices, without the conditioning, and really having to like look at myself and say, yeah, what is it that I want? Without all these other external voices, if you will, coming into play. And so that's why I think I really enjoyed our conversation when we met, because when you talked about Reiki, when you talked about feeling like an outlier or having, different thoughts or desires from others that were your friends or family, I could relate and I could identify with those feelings. And so I'm wondering, what role do you believe that self-love plays in healing, especially with your background as far as Reiki and working with folks?
Oh, it's so crucial. I would say it's the foundation. I feel like self-love is the foundation to a lot of things, specifically healing work. I know we were talking a lot about that, and I mentioned that like it took me a time to understand like I'm not healing anyone. I'm just a facilitator in a way. Like I'm guiding people to their healing. I'm providing tools, I'm providing structures, containers, but I'm not healing anyone. And so I feel as though before my self-love journey really like solidified and cemented itself in me, and I would say it solidified itself around my Saturn return. That Saturn return, baby. Respectfully, honestly, almost took me out of here. That Saturn return, but that Saturn return was like self-love, self-trust, self-belief. We are getting that here. But prior to my Saturn return and the cementing of my self-love journey, I very much was the martyr type of healer. Like I have to give, like all my resources have to be free, or like I'm not allowed to be nourished from my offerings. Like they have to all be free or really low cost, or just this martyr, like I have to sacrifice and sacrifice. Like my relationship to sacrifice is very different. I believe sacrifice is always required to a certain degree, but sacrifice shouldn't just like deplete you. Like you always, there's some level of exchange to give and receive, because I believe the universe speaks through giving and receiving. That's a divine language. But if you're giving but not allowing yourself to receive, that creates an imbalance. And that created depletion, and that led to burnout and sickness. And so I feel like self-love is so imperative as a practitioner, as a healer, as an artist, as a parent, as a partner. Like, I really would have never believed that I would be in a place in my life where I'm like, no, I need this hour to myself. Thank you so much. Like, I thought when you're in a relationship, y'all got to be like this all the time. And that doesn't work for my energy. Like, I'm very much like, I recharge in solitude. I hear God the loudest, divine the loudest in solitude. And so I really thought that I would always just, and I would wondering why I'm like depressed and anxious and just never having enough to give. It's because I didn't feel like I was allowed to ask for the time to myself to recharge. But now I'm realizing, because I love myself, the people around me, not only do they mirror to me what they need, but they also hold me accountable. Did you eat? Did you take a nap? Did you meditate? What's your diet like? You know, so now I'm in such a great place in my life. And I would love to know, like, on your self-love journey, do you find that there are people who mirror to you where you're at with your self-love?
Okay, so thank you for sharing what you shared.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about coming outside at the brunch and meeting you there at the table, and how you were taking time for yourself to recharge your battery. And so I love that, like, I actually got to see this for myself. And so that's a reason that I wanted to continue the conversation. And I would say that the people that I am meeting and attracting into my life now, this version of Wida, are those folks that are doing that for me, are mirroring, are reflecting back to me, are holding me accountable. I can't say that people that have been in my life the longest, because they may not be doing like some of the work and some of the things that I'm doing, but definitely this iteration of Wida and the people that I'm encountering now are definitely reflecting, mirroring, and checking in with me. Yeah. So that's helping me to grow. And I love that. And I think some part of me has really desired like where I am right now. And to be able to be in community and to know folks that really can identify and are doing this type of work and working on loving themselves, and that they can relate. Yeah. So again, I really love that I was able to see part of your self-love journey when I met you. So
Actually, literally. And I even told you, I was like, yeah, no, I have to come outside. I just need to regroup. And like, I wouldn't have said that before. So like, it's not offensive. Like, I realize it's not offensive. And first of all, I just love when people tell me what they need. Like, I'm not a mind reader all the time. Not all the time. But I love when people are explicit to me about what they need. It's a reminder that I can do it as well. As you talk about like mirroring, like I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you. I've got another question. What is one self-love truth that you wish everyone understood?
What is one self-love truth that I wish everyone understood? Singing.
Or is there something?
I mean, yeah, I pretty much named it. It's just like
Okay.
self-love is foundational to everything. it's just very, very, very foundational. And I would love to know like your thoughts on that. Like, do you agree? Like, do you feel like self-love is foundational, even to like financial wealth, emotional wealth?
I
Like,
think self-love absolutely is foundational. And I think that's why that is a message that I share wherever I go, because it has changed my life. And I wish, yeah, I do. I wish that everyone kind of understood that, and that they were in a place to receive that, because I just find that, I don't know everybody's life experiences, and I don't know everybody's trauma and what they have encountered in their lives and what conditioning, because I just know that for me, really working on subconscious beliefs has also been like a huge part, and just deconditioning from some things. And I know, like, I've been on this journey since 2012, 2013. And I absolutely think that it's foundational. And I recognize that now people are where they are, and they might not be able to grab hold of really honoring themselves. And so part of my self-love now is like witnessing where people are and really letting them be where they are. Because before, I used to really try to convince people about self-love, and I used so much energy trying to do that I depleted myself. And so that's when I was like, okay, you're not standing in your power right now. You're giving all this energy away. And the best thing that I can do for anybody is just to model, to live my life and just be who I am. And if they're able to see self-love, in my actions, then maybe they'll be able to pick something up from there. And so, but definitely think that self-love is just life-changing. So yes, foundational, absolutely.
yeah. Like, I also wanted to name, like, similar to you seeing me and my self-love journey at the brunch when we were outside, like, you offered so much honesty and transparency and just like presence. Like, you have such a presence to you that you're just like, I'm here. Like, and I was just like, there's not a lot of people who I come across whose energy and aura, as the young ones say, they call it aura, which is not really a new term, but your aura just like is so vibrant with like this commitment to yourself of like, I'm here, I'm in my power. Like, you were naming, like, moving through things. Like, you were so honest about like, you are in process right now. Like, you are formed in some ways, and in some ways you're in process.
Yes.
And I'm like, first time meeting you, like, just the way you offered that was just so inspiring. And I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you for that, sharing that part of yourself with me. Like, that was, I went home, we were in the Uber home. Me and my partner, obviously, you met at the party. I was like, me and Rita was really getting into it. like we were like here with it. Like, we knew each other. Like, just, it was just so like such kindred spirits.
Yes.
And like, that was just like, yeah, no, I truly, truly, truly enjoyed that moment with you.
Enjoyed it. And I just want to tell you that, like, after our conversation, so many things have come up. Like I shared with you that I am working through being seen. And we were doing a work here, and the answer that came up was that the fear that I was feeling was around being truly known and truly seen. And so the interaction like I had with you, it was one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I know that that's my work. And so I really enjoyed that part of our conversation as well, because often when I am sharing from that place, I don't have a mirror. I don't have someone reflecting back to me, or they can identify, or they're being honest. That's the thing that I felt in our time together, was that there was so much honesty. And I really value integrity. I value like those types of conversations and vulnerability. And so that was something that really stood out to me. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that. And also thank you for taking the time out of your day today to sit and to chat with me. Is there, if you could, I know a lot of times people ask if you could give some advice or some words to your younger self, and I don't think I'm going to ask you that, but is there something that, it might be a younger relative or a younger friend or someone that is younger that may be struggling with all the things we talked about with social, because I can't imagine being younger in this day and time with everything that's happening in the world. But is there, any tidbit, any gem, I don't necessarily want to use the word advice, but are there words of wisdom maybe from your own journey that you would like to share?
Yes, because I have a wise heart,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Oh, and I'm in the presence of an even wiser heart. So, for me, which I really love that question. I really, really, really love that question. Immediately as you said that, I'm thinking of like, I'm gonna be someone's future, like I'm a future ancestor. Like, there's going to be, I'm a part of a lineage, and it makes me think of like speaking to a younger person who's to come. My words of wisdom to them will be like, I didn't do all this work for nothing, because that's the type of ancestor I'm going to be.
All right.
That is the type of ancestor I'm going to be on the other side talking about. I did not do all this work for nothing. So your lineage, your mantle, your work to carry on is just to maintain your power. Like, know and remember the truth. Know and remember where truth and power lies within you. And just maintain that. Hold fast to that. Like, you know exactly who you are. You know exactly what you need. You know exactly what you want in this world. And I believe our desires are our greatest compass. And so I would just say, honor your desire. Honor your desire and just maintain this work that I and so many others in my lineage have put in motion for you to continue to be empowered and to dismantle. I don't know if he's gonna curse. I was really about to curse and dismantle all this stuff.
You can say whatever you want to say. You can curse here. We grown.
I just want to make sure, I want to be respectful.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. YouTube asks, is this video for children? And I know that this is not for children. So, okay. Well, thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. Dismantle all this shit. That's what I was going to say.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, how does that feel? Do you feel complete with that?
I feel complete. All
right. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Phae, on Wisehearts Garden. For everyone that's watching, if you have not already, please like, share, subscribe, and hopefully there was something that resonated. If not, then you know what to do, right? But thank you for joining us today on this Venus day, on this Friday, new moon in Aries with all this fire energy. And just want to send so much love out to you. And till next time, thank you. Thank you, Phae.
Thank you.